Get ready
for the most electrifying podcast,
Gente Talk. Hosted by husband and wife duo
Jorge La Voz
and Dr. Lonnie.
With over 8 billion people on this planet,
we aim to capture the stories changing the world,
experience intriguing pláticas,
laughter,
and interactive challenges that will captivate everyone,
including your abuelita.
Stay tuned, gente.
This is going to be a ride you won't want to miss. Hola mi gente, welcome to Gente Talk Show. I'm your co-host, Dr. Lonnie.
And I'm Jorge La Voz, and we want to welcome you once again. It is the month of December to remember.
It is.
And it is the month of holidays, of Navidad, Christmas, New Year's, and all those good things that come with it, right? So we're going to talk about the holidays since they are here, and it could be an occasion of joy for a lot. But for some people, it's a little bit depressing.
I mean, it could be overwhelming. The gift shopping, the holiday parties, preparations, travel between different houses and families and friends sometimes. I mean, it could be a lot. And so today, we're going to be sharing some tips to hopefully help you to create a meaningful holiday season without breaking the bank.
That's right. So we're going to cover budget-friendly ideas. We're going to cover ways to celebrate with less stress or no stress, and how to keep these family traditions alive while creating new ones. And we are from different places, and maybe the US and Latin America, we have different cultures. Like Mexico, we celebrate a little bit differently than we do here. But let's get started. Welcome to Excellence Real Estate, where every corner holds the promise of home. At Excellence Real Estate, they're not just selling houses, they're opening doors to your future. From cozy starter homes to spacious family retreats, they can help you find your new home. Let Excellence lead you home. Contact them today, because when it comes to finding your perfect fit, Excellence is the only option. So let's get started, right? Because the holidays can be a sign of pressure for a lot of people, stress, and man, the holidays are here. I gotta go gift shopping. I gotta get ready. I gotta get the house ready. We gotta clean up. We gotta make dinner. We gotta do this. I haven't purchased for my uncles, my nieces. It's just incredibly stressful for some people. And even as I'm talking about it right now, it's just stressful.
Well, and then social media kind of makes it a little worse, right? To a certain extent. I mean, people are posting their holiday photos. I love seeing my family and friends posting, what their holidays look like. I'm not going to say everybody celebrates Christmas because that would be an assumption. And I have a lot of what we would say like diverse family members that celebrate they have different religions, they have different cultural traditions, and we embrace all of it. So yeah. I won't say it's just Christmas, but I love seeing the holiday photos and the different foods that people are eating. And but I also feel like it can be stressful, especially if you're like hopping in the same day from like one house to another house, and especially we have large families.
That's right. And we love to eat.
And we love to eat. So, how do you manage that budget, of, making foods and just managing it all? It can be a lot of pressure for one.
And not only the pressure maybe of family, but also the pressure at work, because all these holiday parties, you have to now go with your significant other, your spouse. You got to make a good impression.
You got to train your significant other on what to say when they're there.
and not have too many that liquid courage, right? That truth serum, because something might slip out.
That's right.
And then there goes your job right there. So there is a lot of pressure, but let's just take a deep breath. And the holidays should not be about that. It should be about being with family, about giving what's in your heart, and spending time with your loved ones. Right?
And I was gonna say that the holidays shouldn't feel like it has to be perfect, but more special. Especially if you have little ones. I think for the most part, when you have little ones, you gotta you gotta do what you gotta do, right? You know, making that gingerbread house, or you know, cooking a special recipe passed down from, you know, your parent, or you know, your abuelita or something like that, right? Keeping these traditions alive. I think it's more about making it special and memorable, and the experience that you're creating. And so if they see you like in the hustle and bustle of like, I gotta do this and I gotta do that and I gotta get ready, you know, it kind of ruins the vibe for the little ones, you know.
Yeah,
so.
but you know what also, that you have to set boundaries as well. So it can be very special, but sit down with your kids and let them know, you know, financially they may not get, you know, that maybe that new Xbox that they want, or get everything that they want. And it's really not just about giving, but it's about setting a certain boundary, not only financially, but emotionally and socially, right? So this way we really focus on what matters, which is being with family and letting go of the rest.
Right. And I was just going to say, bring something just a little bit, I want to say the negative part of the holidays, but sometimes it could be really difficult, especially for folks who have lost loved ones, you know, in that year or years before, and they're still trying to heal from it. And a lot of times, you know, holidays remind them, you know, the family's getting together, and it's a reminder. And so I think, you know, it's important too that, you know, when we talk about mental, emotional health, especially when we're talking about pressure of the holidays, we have to also take that into consideration. How do we take a break from that? And so again, that's why I'm saying holidays shouldn't have to feel perfect. It should just be a time for you to be able to, yes, make this special atmosphere, but at the same time, you know, try to navigate through the holidays well.
So let's talk about some things that will help out. Right?
Yes,
like,
some amazing tips.
yeah, because gifts, most people think, oh man, I gotta just put everything on a credit card. And once again, you know, we talked about in the last episode about not getting into debt.
Well,
Be
Black
careful.
Friday can
Black
be a
Friday
little bit of a
specials.
madness, though.
Yeah, and being out in the lines and everything. Oh no. Or even ordering stuff online. People get really happy and they start ordering stuff, and before they know it, they're in debt, you know, starting January. But there are some do-it-yourself gifts that, you know, may seem cheesy, right, to some people, but they're, for example, like what, doctora?
Handwritten letters to each other,
That's right.
photo collages, maybe even home baked goods. I like doing that.
Oh, I love when you bake.
Well, it's not always for the home. It's sometimes, you know, like I like to make the banana bread for, you know, it's one of my
Your
great
red velvet cupcakes are the best.
Okay, that's right. You do like red velvet. But I was
Yeah.
saying the banana bread recipe actually comes from my great grandmother, and passed down, right? But I like to make that recipe and share it. I know people request it, or you know, oatmeal cookies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of baked goods, and I like baking them with the little ones just because they get to put their energy into it, and
Absolutely.
it's about giving aloha and love to everybody.
That's right. And we bake, you know, brownies with the little one. We bake cookies and a lot of things. So getting them involved, getting your kids involved, I think is one of the most important things. If you have some gifts that you have to give out, like with these with family members where they do the white elephant,
Yes.
that, you know, you can make something that means that comes straight from the heart. Another one would be experience gifts.
Okay,
And,
so what do you mean by experience
well,
gifts?
instead of material, give the gift of time.
Ooh, I actually really like that, the gift of time.
So, for example, offer to, you know, babysit the kids if you're a grandparent or an uncle or an aunt, cook a meal, or plan a vacation. In some cases, people do go on vacation during Christmas, or go to the Bahamas or things like that. So an actual experience gift is probably one of the most important and will be the most memorable gift, especially if you have kids.
I love that. Or even like when you talk about like an outing, just going out on a hike. I mean, I would love to do that. Just, let's get away from all of the hustle and bustle of holiday and let's just travel somewhere or just do something as a family. I think that's meaningful, and you don't need a lot of money to do that.
No, you don't. You can go, California has a lot of nice places, right? And the weather's great.
The beaches.
And if you can afford a trip somewhere else, then take it. Be different, go out and tell family, you know what, I'm sorry, but this year, the kids and I, we're going to travel somewhere, maybe to the Bahamas or Florida where the weather's nice in December. And it'll be an experience that you'll always remember.
So do-it-yourself gifts, experience gifts, anything else?
We can talk about group gifts.
Okay.
If there's large families, which in our case there's large families.
Yes.
Right? Consider doing a Secret Santa or a white elephant, what we were talking about.
Oh, yes, we do white elephant actually with my brother.
And
That's
then we
right.
keep it at maybe it could be a minimum of 10, 15 bucks, whatever you want.
Well, I think the way he does it is they separate the categories between children and adults, only because I think as a child it kind of sucks that you get like an adult, and I mean like an adult gift, like like a sweater or something, right? Or something that you use, a tie or something you use to clean the car, and the child opens it up and they're like, what is this, right? So we kind of tend to separate the children's gifts piles from the adult piles. And I think it's always fun the way that we play it, and we bring like all of our family members come together and we just have a lot of fun, and we look forward to it every year.
Work it, make it, do it, makes us harder, better, faster, stronger. More than power, never.
So I also want to talk about personalized gifts. I don't think we should forget about that, because I think I love the idea of seeing family in like a mug or a keychain, just something very customized. I know that I've even seen
a lot of people do those postcards, right?
Yes, and to kind of tell stories about how their families are doing at that point in time. I've even seen like when we talk about the tree, sometimes you could put like an image of the person and use it as an ornament and commemorate a special event. So I think personalized gifts are also beautiful. You gave me actually a really nice personalized gift.
Which one?
Well, it's the one of our song.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a photo of us.
Yeah.
I really love that. I feel like personalized gifts might be the way to go.
It's
sometimes.
probably one of the best. And then stocking stuffers are great too.
Yes.
Right? Every now and then I go ahead and I go to the stocking, and you don't even know that I'm putting stuff in there.
Oh, really? I haven't checked.
Yeah. So
I like lottery tickets. I'm going to confess that.
Oh, lottery tickets are great. Those are great.
I know we don't want to be pushing gambling, but I'm just saying, lottery tickets are really fun. The scratchers, especially, I think that's a fun way to, enjoy the holidays.
Lotería, right?
Yes.
But there's other ways that you can make the holidays memorable.
Yeah,
Traditions.
let's talk about some of those traditions out there.
Right. So, for example, we have a family movie night with holiday classics. Now, here's a classic that I love, that I think it's a Christmas movie, which you disagree with, but I know that Die Hard for me is a holiday movie, right? Which I love to watch.
I'm still not 100% convinced that Die Hard, only because Die Hard was set during the time of the holidays, right? So people consider it a holiday movie.
But I gotta say, my favorite all-time Christmas movie is probably gonna be Home Alone.
Oh, I was just gonna say, but compared to something like Home Alone, clearly that is a Christmas, like a holiday movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
That you can watch year after year after year, and you'll never get tired of it. And the kids love it.
I was just gonna say, do you have any other favorite holiday
I love
movies?
Jim Carrey's Grinch. I think the best Grinch ever.
Love.
So Jim Carrey, if you're watching, best Grinch ever. So that's a classic.
Now, what about Elf? I actually like Will
yeah.
Ferrell
That's another
and
good one.
Elf and
Yes.
just, I mean, what is he like pouring this big old
Buddy
bowl of
the Elf,
cereal? I mean, that is an amazing movie. Any other ones that you can think of?
Gosh, let's see. There are Miracle on 34th Street, probably an old movie.
A Christmas
A
Story.
Christmas Story. So there's a lot of movies out there that you can sit down and watch, and they're great. Kids will love it. That's how you keep them entertained.
So almost like a movie marathon.
Absolutely.
Right.
Comida. Let's talk about food.
Okay. So we do the tamales. It's a big deal, right? My mom's not a fan of tamales, sorry, but I still make them and I veganize them so that they're tasty. Because I don't just I have like this tropical kind of tamal, right? That has like coconut and pineapple and things like that. It's flavored, but that's my favorite tamal.
It's funny. A meme was going around for, in December. All the tamaleros, right, are counting all their money. They had like the Al Pacino Scarface movie going on when they're counting the money.
That's funny.
That they're making it this month. So tamales are great. I love them.
And there's an assembly line though. Like, I don't know about you, but like for me, it took me a while to get from like a certain part of the family, assembly line. Not everybody can, spread the masa a certain way.
True. True.
If you're a filler, or if you're a wrapper, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody kind of has a different job. So it's really nice. Again, I like to work with the little ones, and we always make tamales every year. It's a part of our tradition.
That's right.
¿Estás buscando la casa de tu sueño? Bienvenidos a Excellence Bienes Raíces, donde ofrecen un excelente servicio y garantizan el éxito de tu inversión. Permite que Excellence te guíe a la casa de tus sueños, porque cuando se trata de encontrar un hogar perfecto, Excellence es la única opción.
I wanted us to talk about maybe the way in which holidays also go out into the street, but also connected to some of the cultural traditions that we've had over time. I'm talking about like Noche Buena, Las Posadas, even the Three Kings Day. I mean, so let's talk about all of them in different ways. Like I know Noche Buena, the night before, some people go to mass. And then they have like their calientitos, right? Like right in that evening. I can't do Noche Buena anymore because it is very, very late for me. And to be honest with you, I feel like my spirituality has evolved to a certain point where, I feel like, I want to celebrate, the energies of the holiday spirit, but just in a different way.
Yeah,
at least for me.
And again, everyone has different traditions depending on where you're from. And even though we're from Latin American countries, everyone has a different tradition.
Right.
En México se celebran también los Tres Reyes Magos, que es, when the three kings came over and they offered baby Jesus gifts and things like that. So there's different ways that people, they connect.
And you put the shoes out, right?
In
front of the door.
That's right.
Hoping that the Three Kings are going to come and they're going to, bring us something.
Yeah.
But even Las Posadas, like I've actually participated in Las Posadas in Olvera Street, right? It's really beautiful to see community coming together and they're singing. And I mean, it's amazing to see.
And that's what the holidays are about, celebrating the culture that everybody has, coming together, stress-free. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to stress over it. And it's a very inviting atmosphere. And if you go to mass, great. If it's something that you love to do with your family, if you enjoy it, then, by all means, do that.
I know for us, one of the traditions, I mean, I'm not going to say mass, but we actually play lotería. That's part of our tradition. So we have the really big lotería cards, and the children get to actually learn Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
So for us, it's like really important.
That's when you know how their Spanish is really bad.
That's very true. But when it comes to like them winning something, they learn those words very, very quickly.
They do. Lotería is a great game. So that is one of our favorites. The other thing is, bringing in unique blends of culture, because there's family that we have that are, non-Latinos. They're maybe Asian, Filipino.
Right.
And so it's that cross culture of celebration, which makes it great.
I was just going to say that in our family, shout out to Ted, cousin
that's right.
Ted.
Ethiopian,
yeah. And it was really cool because I remember.
You know what? Ted's American, man. When I see Ted, this guy's more American than anything.
Well, so I remember his mom came to one of our really big family tradition ceremony and I guess you could say gatherings, right? Because we had like it all, and she just experienced Latina culture like to its fullest.
Was she
right?
culture shocked?
No, she was amazing. But one of the things when I first met her, and I'd met her in like different circumstances, but I got a chance to talk to her a little more, and it was holidays, and I remember talking to her about, oh yeah, we also have the three kings, and she's like, yes, and did you know that one of those three kings was actually Ethiopian? And I was like, no, yeah, and we started talking about that, and she was very proud of the culture. So I learned a lot. My cousin also brings Ethiopian food during this time, so it's really, really cool. I mean, we're very eclectic, and yes, we have even like Filipino food because my sister-in-law, shout out to my sister-in-law, is actually part Filipino. So our traditions in our Hawaiian food, our Chinese food, Mexican food, I mean, you name it.
Yeah, if you guys want an invite, just let us know.
Party at our house,
That's
right?
It.
¿Están listos para algo nuevo? Descubre la alegría del baile con Prestige en Stevens Steakhouse. Ya seas principiante, intermedio o avanzado, Miguel y Jennifer te guiarán en cada paso del camino. Ven a bailar, reír y hacer nuevos amigos. Tu aventura comienza aquí.
Well, Doctora, so the holidays, as we know, they can bring us joy, they can bring us stress, especially when we're juggling family dynamics, schedules, work, kids, because when kids are off from school, that's a lot of work. Yeah, when they're home.
It is. And then doing that plus holidays. It's like,
yep.
Woo!
And also the financial pressure.
Yes.
Because you got to get gifts for everybody and things like that. But here are some ways that you can manage stress. The first tip that I'm going to give is set realistic expectations.
Okay.
In other words, don't try to do it all. Focus on what matters the most. And don't try to do it all yourself.
I feel like I need to remind myself about that, because sometimes I feel like it's not about you or anybody else, but just like for myself, like I got to get this done. I got to get this done. I got to get this done,
As
right?
As a perfectionist, I know. Yeah.
So again, I have to remind myself it's about creating something special, not perfect. Special, not perfect.
Right. The other thing, another tip that we just did last week is practice self-care.
Yes.
Right. Where do we go?
We were in Vegas.
What did we do?
We actually did a couple massage.
Yeah,
yes.
We went to the spa. We did a great massage that was amazing. Go get a manicure, pedicure together. Take some time for yourself and with your significant other. So we'll go get massages together, manicures, pedicures, and believe it or not, that really just energizes you.
Yeah,
right?
well, self-care is important. And I know not everybody, I mean, some people might be seeing this and being, Sito, I can't afford to be getting massages all the time. Who are they? But the reality is we actually plan for it. Like we budget for it. We know, your body needs to be maintained and it can have a lot of wear and tear. You don't know how much stress, at least for me, I hold a lot of like stress in certain parts of my body. And we think that I have a high pain threshold too. So I have no idea what the damage I'm doing to my body until like it's really, really bad. And like, by the way, do you know this is happening to you? And I'm like, what? So I've learned that, do your acupuncture when you need to, do your chiro when you need to, do your self meditations when you need to, go get those massages. And I think it's a healthy way for couples, to do these kinds of things together and support each other, because if I'm good of mind, body, I'm good to be able to give more to my partner, and that's how I see it.
There's a saying, happy wife, happy life, right? But you know what, let me give somebody, some of the listeners and viewers, a tip out there. There's an application out there called Resort Pass, and this application is really good because you can look close to where you live, where you can go to some of these hotels that have these, or resorts, and they have these spas where you can either get a massage, or you could just go and lounge out at their pool, or use their sauna, their pools or steam room, things like that, and it's very affordable.
Right, you're not breaking the bank, and it's drivable. It's like within more than an hour
Palm
of
Springs,
driving out.
Newport Beach, wherever it is, just go to Resort Pass, and if Resort Pass is looking out, then let us know, right? But yeah, it's a very great application that you can go and apply some self-care for you and your loved ones.
But I was just going to say, when we talk about managing holiday stress, I think one of the most important things is learning how to just say no. It's not in my capacity. I mean, I think that's kind of like the buzzword that we use now, is it's not in my capacity. I just can't right now. And it's okay if you just can't, and it's not capacity wise. You sometimes need to decline certain kinds of invitations. You can't do it all. Sometimes we overcommit ourselves. So I think it's important for us to remember, again, when it comes to the holidays, it's not always about perfection. It's about making that special experience.
Strength. It's not just something you find, it's something you build. At Kekoa Strength Training, we don't just lift weights, we lift ourselves. We push past limits. Every rep, every step brings you closer to the strongest version of you. This is where you break barriers, where you find your resilience. At Kekoa Strength, we're not just a gym, we're a community. We rise together stronger every day. Strength starts here. Are you ready?
So at the end of the day, Doctora, the holidays are really about connecting with each other.
It's about connection.
Yeah, not about how much you spend or, how everything is so perfect, but really focus on the people, especially if you have kids. Really focus on them and tell your kids exactly what Christmas is all about, right? With our little one, we tell them that Christmas is not just about gifts, but it's about a moment or a time where a family gets together, and the gifts are something that are given because it's been earned, right? Not because it's just expected.
And I think we've also put something, because kids can't necessarily, they don't have the money to buy gifts and give it for people, but that's when the experience gifts come in. That's where the time comes in, right? So I think all ages can participate when it comes to helping to make the holidays great for the family, for whether it's chosen families, friend families, right? It's a good way, right, to kind of remove the pressure from the holiday season altogether.
Yeah, and you don't have to do it all yourself. Remember, keep it simple. KISS, KISS. Remember that, KISS, KISS. Keep it simple, silly is what we call it, right?
Okay.
So this way, it's just reminding us that when we're budgeting for gifts, whether it's food, whether it's going to holiday parties, once again, set those boundaries financially. Set those expectations emotionally for the family. Take care of yourself and your partner. Also explain to your kids, the significance of what these holidays are about. And then spend the time with your family and enjoy the delicious food that they all make. That's
Right.
my favorite part.
I was just going to say, too, for folks out there, if you have to buy certain kinds of gifts, I know we actually have a holiday themed party coming up, too. Look up do it yourself. I mean, there's so many ideas online of, how to create quick costumes or how to create quick foods on a budget, or how to budget shop for certain kinds of gifts, or creating certain kinds of gifts. You have a lot of talents. If you know how to crochet somebody something. If you know how to sew, create something really cute for somebody, right? I think use your talents, and believe me, I feel like receiving those kinds of like homemade gifts are just much more meaningful to me. I mean, I'm not gonna say like somebody buys something, I'm deeply appreciative of it.
Because if I were to give you another diamond ring, you'd say no, right?
No, I'm just saying though that I'm very appreciative of just any gift that comes, because to me it means they were thinking of me, and I'm always like, thank you for thinking of me, and they put thought into it, and I'm grateful to accept it. But at the same time, again, the pressure of like, I've got to get that perfect gift for the person, right? Even when you're thinking about buying for, I mean, I know for me it was hard sometimes buying for my parents, because, what do you buy for people that have everything, like
right.
in those cases, right? Or they're super
they're
humble,
picky.
They're picky, or super humble, all these different things. Like, what do you buy for them? It's really hard, and so you end up buying the experience, right, for them. Like, oh, I'm gonna take you somewhere and we're gonna have a great time, and they appreciate that. So that's also something to consider for some of you that are dealing with folks that maybe are a little bit hard to get gifts.
Yeah, so I hope this segment really helped out. We want to make sure that you enjoy the holidays, be safe with your family, enjoy it to the best as you can. Don't try to be perfect, just enjoy the ride, smooth sailing like they say. So I am your host, Jorge La Voz.
And I'm Dr. Lani.
Be sure to follow us and subscribe.
This is going to be a ride you won't want to miss.